Hello and greetings, fellow StarCrafters. This is PGL Milncraft here from ProGamingLeagues.com with a 1 versus 1 between the blue Zerg player LiquidSheth and the red Zerg player EGIdra. LiquidSheth, as you can tell from the name, a member of Team Liquid. He actually used to be a member of FXO, but he decided that it didn't really end up working out for him, so he decided to switch teams and is now in Team Liquid, which tends to be a fan favorite just because, well, I would say it tends to be a fan favorite because so many people use the Team Liquid website because it's such a good resource, which it is. And, he's had some decent success. He's played in the GSL. He did Code A only for 1 year, for 1 season, rather. And he did okay when he played on Code A. He won the first match, which allowed him to stay in Code A, so he made the round of 16. Which is okay. It's it's really difficult to compete in Korea as a foreigner or as a Korean. It's just very difficult, very stiff competition. We see that the two overlords here are crossing each other. And Idra is well known for his rage. He's also well known for actually giving up early. He tends to quit out very early in games. Happens quite a lot. Even if you've been watching him in the MLG Raleigh recently, he's been kind of quitting out a little bit too soon, I would say. But this is a Zerg vs. Zerg. It should be very competitive. This match is from the North American Invitational. It's a tournament, I believe, run by Blizzard with a $20,000 payout, and it's like 8 or 9 players, and it's double elimination. And the people who do well enough get to represent their region, North America, South America, Southeast Asia, the different servers. They get to represent their region in actual BlizzCon. So this is like preparation for the BlizzCon tournament. So both players has a lot on the line. They really want to have a lot to prove as well. And Idra, I feel like, wants to prove that he's a very good Zerg player. Again, I don't think he hasn't had as much success as people probably think that he should have. And so I think he's looking to do well at this particular tournament. Now, Idra actually is... Sheth, rather, not Seth. He sent a drone scout. Oh, actually, he was going for an early pool. How early of a pool was that? No, that's not that early. But he did get 6 lings. This is a very weird build, actually. He did get 6 links, so he's going to be going in, trying to deal some damage there to Idra, who's hopefully unprepared. Idra is getting 6 links as well, and neither player is actually expanded. So I found that fairly interesting, considering how late in the game it is. In Zerg vs. Zerg, expansions are a lot different than they are in other matches, just because it's a lot closer than the other matches are. And looks like... See, Idra wants to fight him in the mineral line so we can have the drones decide to change and fight if they need to. It looks like... oh wow, that's so even, but Idra is going to come out ahead just barely. Actually, they both lost 5 lings, unless Idra was able to take out that last ling. So that little bit of Zergling pressure wasn't too effective, and Idra is going to be starting his expansion right there. So actually, neither player goes for a hatch first, which is somewhat interesting. I would say typically I would see a hatch first. It's not like super common for a player. Wow, and speed's just starting for Sheth now, so he's going to be very behind on speed. That's going to give Idra a very large advantage early on here. Especially without any sort of like spine crawler. It's going to make it very difficult for Sheth to defend an expansion. But he is getting a creep tumor that'll allow him to put a spine crawler near the expansion if he needs one. He's not even building one right now, though. He's getting Baneling's Nest that will be able to stop any sort of Zergling speed shenanigans. And looks like Idra, with the speed just finishing, which Sheth will see, is going to go ahead and move out of there. Meanwhile, you see overlords placed all around the map. In Zerg vs. Zerg, you can do that quite easily. Looks like a little scouting drone here. Actually, I think revealed that there wasn't any additional tech. I think probably looking for the Baneling Nest. But there isn't really any anti-air, so the overlords can be placed around the map until you get to Mutalisks or Hydralisks. So, you can put overlords fairly aggressively as long as they can't be shot down by queens, which Sheth actually wants to be a little bit more careful with this one because queens actually can run down overlords. It takes forever, and it's really painful to watch, but it is possible. Looks like Idra is getting a Baneling Nest as well, so there's going to be no sort of roach pressure going on right now, which is, I would say 50-50 maybe if someone goes early roaches versus banelings, because roaches can be quite effective, especially against banelings. Like, that's how you would counter banelings, is with roaches. Looks like speed is finishing as well, and he's getting a bunch of banelings. Oh, this could actually be pretty effective unless Idra has some very good control here. Oh, unless he loses his Lings before the Banelings finish, but Idra's going to see the Banelings morphing. He doesn't know how long they have left, so he wants to move back. He knows that the aggression's coming, so he's going to start the Spine Crawler right there. Let's see how this happens. Idra needs to be very careful with his Zergling control. If he takes just one bad hit, oh, that was really close. One bad hit. Nice job sending exactly one Zergling in. If he takes one bad hit, as I was saying, for the Banelings, then his entire army could be gone. Looks like he's going for the counterattack. He's morphing his own Banelings as well, but those aren't going to matter as much. However, Sheth has an advantage over him because his units are already at his opponent's base, and he has the Banelings in position to first of all take out the Baneling cocoons, and then to send the Banelings up. Looks like Idra is going to be taking out that Queen as well. The drones are going back, and it's going to deal a lot of damage to those drones right there, which these Zerglings will then have an easy time finishing off for Sheth. Meanwhile, a bunch of Zerglings are still alive for Idra, but Idra just does not have enough Zerglings inside Sheth's base to be able to deal the damage he needs. And look at all those drones that are about to go down. All the drones at very, very low health. Just a couple of swings from the Zerglings will take these out. Looks like Idra is going to have enough Lings to be able to kick Sheth out of there. No, he's going to go back in and try to pick up some more drones. Looks like he gets one. Is he going to get that last injured drone? Looks like he is. And then he's probably just going to slide out of there. Idra is going to trap the rest of those, though, and take the rest of those out. So it's a good job on his part. Some more Lings moving in, though. And Idra is very, very low on drones. If we go to the drone count, Idra's down to 7 drones. That's a 50. He's at 50% of what his opponent's at. So Sheth is doing very, very well right now. And it looks like Idra is going to be in a very difficult position. Unless this counterattack here can deal some damage. We don't have any Banelings actually coming up from Sheth. He should think about hatching some Banelings. Idra is hatching some Banelings, but looks like there's going to be an engagement right here. Nice job splitting the Marines. Oh, huge hit from the Baneling, killing 5 or 6 Lings. However, Sheth apparently was creating Banelings, and he decides to move them forward. Idra sends exactly 1 Ling to go take out the Baneling. Smart move on his part. And he's sending a second one to take out the other Baneling, but that's going to be surrounded by the rest of Sheth's Lings. And 1 Baneling did, in fact, go down, though. And another Ling goes forward. He might be scouting. And Idra's going to warp in a couple more Banelings. Oh, if he had pressed X on that, he would have taken out the rest. Oh! Idra's down to 3 Banelings. Looks like he's going to be attacking these Baneling cocoons. Looks like the Baneling's going to hatch just barely in time and taking out a number of Zerglings there. Now, this is why Zerg versus Zerg is so interesting, because it gets so incredibly scrappy. There's just like, one Baneling hit can make or break the entire combat here. And it looks like... Oh, wow, actually, Sheth has got dealing even more damage to Idra's drone count, and I don't think Idra's really done that much damage to Sheth, and Sheth is now taking his expansion as well, so Idra's going to lose that advantage, and then he's going to have nothing over his opponent. The Harvester count is a little more normalized than it was before. However, if you go to the unit count, we see that Sheth does have a number of more Zerglings. However, a couple Banelings placed on the cliff. Where are the Banelings hatching for Idra? Not sure where the Banelings are. Oh, there they are at the top of the hill. Oh, looks like barely able to save it. Nice job for Idra. And those Banelings are going to scare the rest of those units out. And watch out, Idra. Okay, and Idra needs to move out. And he just GG's after that Baneling hit. Oh, that's interesting. Alright, well, Idra decides that, I think he was more behind before, actually. But I think he realized his army was smaller and he had less economy. Or at least he was pretty sure he had less economy, and so he decided to just GG out of that game. Which shows you exactly what I was talking about, is that he's just unwilling to... Is Sheth still playing? Idra's just unwilling to play out of a situation in which he is behind. If he's like this mates this threshold of behind, he just gets, I think he gets really frustrated trying to play out of that position, and he feels like that's going to ruin his play later, and so he doesn't want to try any sort of like miracle comebacks or anything like that. But we will move on to game number 2. These matches are best of 3. So this is PGL Milncraft signing off.